stuff in life can get a little stale, you know? You just get bored of some stuff. You don't know what the next move is. And the natural conclusion to that a lot of the times is, hey, I know some of the stuff that makes me feel good. I'll just do that stuff a lot. But that, my friend, is how you end up on the street tugging trousers for Commander Precons, and I don't want that for you. I've been in a little bit of a deck building funk. I've built more than I care to admit over the last couple months, and they've all gotten taken apart. Teneb and Amanatu are pretty much the only two left standing. Yes, even that deck is gone, whatever you're gonna be asking. Helga, Imskir, Obeka, Fabine, all in search of fun, all in search of a good time. I just wanted to hoot, I'll admit it, I was asking for a lot. Maybe holler a bit with my buddies and play some Magic, but no, it just felt like similar deck approaches being recycled over and over and over under the guise of, no, I swear I'm approaching it different this time, I promise. Why am I not enjoying the decks I've been making? I enjoy the things the decks do, and the decks do the things, and I'm doing the things the deck doing, so why don't I enjoy doing them? These are the questions for the greats. I feel like we've all kind of been where I'm at right now. Well, maybe this is gonna help you out, like it's helped me out. Unless you're like a mad lad that already has 30 decks sitting around, this might not help you. Although it may turn you into one of those people. It seems intuitive when you're building a new deck to be like, what do I like doing and want to do? And then do that thing. If you want to enjoy what you're doing, do what you enjoy. While knowing what you like in Magic is really, really good. It's great. You're inevitably going to hit that wall where you're like, I need a new deck, I want something to build, and I'm not sure how to figure out what that even is. With the extreme search results for Magic strategies and decks online, it's understandable to be a bit overwhelmed. You may even consider going outside. Speaking of going outside, check out the Touch Grass podcast over on the Patreon, available for you patrons, along with some other perks. It starts as low as $1. Feel free to go check that out in the description. Anyway, with all this fresh air reaching your brain, this is where the question comes in. Not the question of when did I start having fun, but instead the question of when did I stop having fun? The answer to the former, when do I start having fun, is most of the time when I'm winning, or when my deck is doing its thing, which requires no deeper questioning and will just lead to you building a similar deck again or keeping the same deck and just making minimal changes to it. While the answer to the latter, when do I stop having fun, is most of the time when I'm losing or when my deck didn't do its thing, which requires further questioning. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. The next 5 games you play, write down every time you start having less fun, as petty as it seems, even if you're like, yeah, that seems kind of, whatever, it's kind of specific, kind of niche, write it down. Let's say you start having less fun when 1, you get board wiped, and 2, opponents draw a ton of cards and outvalue you. It's safe to say your next commander may want to provide board resilience and or deter opponents from drawing a ton of cards. Maybe something like Xyrus to make all your opponents' draws into tons of snakes on our side, as well as providing us with plenty of draw with his attacks to recover from any board wipes, as well as him just having access to green, so he'll be very resilient. Maybe you started having less fun when 1, counterspell stopped your game plan, and 2, when you were only able to play 1 spell a turn, and it just felt kind of slow. Your next deck might be Kutzil or Sirach Token or Tribal decks to prevent counterspells, while also being able to play multiple spells and swarm the board. You get where I'm going? You kind of see where I'm getting at here? It's fair when I'm playing my Teneb deck to say I enjoy 50% of the games, and I can't stand 50% of the games. I'm most happy and enjoying the game when I'm reanimating big threats, protecting them, smacking face with late game threats, but this effectively does nothing to help me figure out what itch to scratch for my next deck, and it would probably just lead to me building a similar deck or just upgrading this one. Let me tell you though, the moment I am the most unhappy and having the least fun I've ever had in my life is 1, when Teneb gets smoked the second he's played, 2, when I have little to no cards in hand, and 3, my battlefield has not shit going on. There's nothing. It's small. I don't like it. Now that's some good information to have on your hands. The scratch I need itched on my next deck is laid before thee. My next commander needs to do 3 things. 1, protect itself so it doesn't get smoked right away. 2, provide card advantage so I can always have stuff to do. And 3, be centered around providing large board states. After plenty of digging through commanders and deck ideas, I landed on a Falco Spara token counter deck, and I've been having genuinely a blast with it. Always a cool line of play to play cards off top, big board states, the commander protects itself. It's really scratched the itch I've been missing with Teneb. But inevitably, Falco will run into an issue that only the next deck can solve. And with that, you guys have 30 more decks. Your deck doesn't need to, and more importantly, can't do everything. It doesn't mean your deck's bad, it just means your paper deck went up against some scissors, and maybe it's time for you to make a rock deck. So, figure out when you start not liking the game, and then build a deck that prevents that from happening, and you start filling in these gaps of gameplay. This dude has been a blast, so get ready for the deck tech on him because it's probably coming. I think it's a cool way to start deck building. I hope this video was at all interesting. Again, if you want to support the channel, you want to gain access to the Touchgrass podcast, some other perks, you can head over to the Patreon, check out which tier you would be interested in. Starts as low as $1. It really helps your boy out a lot. Make sure to like and subscribe. We're trying to hit 10K by the end of the year. Thank you guys for the support. And with that, I'll see you guys.